Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how they put how they put a unalived man on trial and how it was the most unfair trial to ever touch, a courtroom. But before we get into that, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because videos actually take a really long time to make and you'd be doing me an amazing favor if you actually did do those things. Without further ado, let's cover this. I thank you, I love you, and let's do this. Chat, it's so cold! It's so cold! There's snow everywhere! So a long time ago in Rome, there was a big discussion about who should lead the church, and there was a guy named Pope Formosus. I could be saying his name wrong, please forgive me. Formosus? I could be saying his name wrong, but I think it's Formosus. Formosus had been leader, but then he had passed away, and usually when a pope passes away, people forget about it. But this was not one of those days. As a matter of fact, it was quite the opposite. You're about to find out why. And then a new pope named Stephen the Sixth was actually really mad at Formosus for no reason, and he wanted to do something unspeakable. Stephen had said that Formosus had taken the job of being a pope too soon and he wasn't supposed to, and he wasn't gonna let that go, and he was just dragging it at this point, like if you took times 10 pity. And then instead of letting it go, he was gonna, now I have to be very careful with my wording because this video could and probably will get demonetized, but he took his remains, DAADCORPSE. I could have said that wrong. But he took his remains and he put them on trial. This dude is sick! What type of vendetta did this dude have against Formosus? What did he do And then Stephen actually sent people to Formosus's grave so they could dig up the remains. And you gotta think, this was months after the passing of Formosus, so he's just rotting. He smells terrible. When they went to go pick him up, his pieces fell together. It was terrible. And then he takes Formosus, puts him in fancy pope clothing, and he sits him in a chair in a courtroom, and he's just there, and it was crazy. And when people walked into the room, court, and they see this, and they're like, no, that shouldn't be a thing. Why is that there? And then Stephen just starts yelling at this lifeless remains of what once was Formosus, and he starts asking it questions, and he starts asking it questions, but as you could presume, it doesn't respond because it's not alive, and he accuses I gotta be very careful. He accuses his remains of lying and gets very angry at it and starts yelling at... This actually happened, by the way. This actually happened. And then Stephen basically makes a nervous priest go up besides Formosus, and he's basically telling Formosus, yo, no joke, you cannot make this up. You can't make this up. He instructs the nervous priest to go beside Formosus and basically talk for him. Not joking. Meaning, this psychopath dug up the remains of someone he didn't like, put it on trial. He's unalive. He's not alive. And he tells his priest to go over to him and talk for him. Which is really crazy when you think about it, because what was this dude on? Bro wanted to get his lake back so bad that he actually went through with his plan. And now the nervous priest is standing beside Formosus, he's not alive, and he's basically talking for him. I'm not kidding. You can look this up. This is true. This actually happened. He's talking for Formosus, and he's saying stuff like, oh yeah, I am guilty. And you gotta think, there's people in the courtroom as this is happening. Meaning, as some guy is yelling at someone's remains, being like, you're guilty! There's an entire courtroom of people that are just witnessing this, and they can't... Some people thought it was funny, a bunch of people thought it was scary, and a lot of people were just like, why? Come on now, why? And at the end of the trial, which by far is probably the most unfair trial in the history of this first of popes, he goes up to it and he's like, oh, okay, well, at the end he loses. Obviously, he's not there anymore. It's just a shell of what he once was. And he's like, Stephen, the guy withholding this trial, is like, yeah, since you're not alive, we're gonna come up with a different punishment. He's gone! He's gone! The hoodie's coming up. The hoodie's coming up. And basically, what was his name? Stephen, the guy holding this trial, basically tells, like, Formosus that he's guilty and he should have never been Pope. And he basically unwrites everything Formosus did. Meaning, every single thing Formosus had done, every decision he had made, everything he had initiated, was now uninitiated and not wasn't a thing anymore just because this guy said so. Oh, I forgot to cut the video. Lucky me. And then you know the previous thing I said before this, where he had where Stephen had gave Formosus fancy clothes. Guess what? He rips the clothes off of him. He put the oh my goodness, bro, this is actually insane. He put fancy clothes on a smoked, unalived guy, right? And then took them off after essentially just having a rant at him. If we're being honest, it wasn't even a trial. It was a trial, but he was just yelling at what once was Formosus. Like, it was crazy. He was just yelling at remains of what once was a man. And then Stephen goes up to Formosus' remains and he starts slicing space double O off his fingers, right? And he's like, these are fingers that he used to bless people. Now he won't have them anymore. This dude was a whole new level of pity. Like, it wasn't even funny. And then he threw Formosus into a river. Yeah. This video, man. What was this even about? And then, long story short, what's his name? Pope Stephen gets strangled to the D word, D-E-A-T-H, in his prison cell because the people were really upset that Stephen had done this. Yeah, that was the end of that story. So I just thought today's video is going to be relatively short because, you know, as you can see, it's snowing, right? Windows are covered in snow. But as you know, I'm kind of trying out different stuff for this channel. Also, if you love the videos and you like the videos and you think they're very funny or they're very, like, entertaining, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because these videos actually take a really long time to make and you'd be doing me a really big favor if you actually did do those things. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, I think that's it. I thank you, I love you, and God bless.